eyes on you, the tears dead in my eyes, we freeze until I'm blind, the ice a gift from you.
Skin, benvenuta su donnamoderna.com. Welcome.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. And I'm asking you again, can I call you Deb?
No.
Oh. I'm gonna call you Skin.
You have to call me Skin. If you call me Deb, I won't answer.
How do your friends call you usually? Do they call you Skin or Deb or what?
To be honest, the band call me Skinny.
All right.
Because that's my nickname.
The first question is, do you ever get old? You never get old. What is it with you never get old? Is it a special formula you have?
I drink a vat of snake's blood every morning.
Oh, wow. This is a very special background we have here. Okay, could you explain to me what exactly did you do for that, and what's the soul, the Skin soul behind it?
Well, basically, they asked me to be one of the artists that designed a wall in an urban area. As it's kind of like an art installation. It's the tiger, but it's in a geometric form, and which is my personal logo.
You're quite very much into fashion and into design and into different kinds of different forms of art, basically. And you've been modeling quite frequently for Italian fashion. How frequently did you exactly model for Ferré or?
Yeah, I did a campaign for Murray, and I did catwalk and sang at the show. It was sadly the last show he did before he died, a few years ago. And it was a magical experience. I really enjoyed working with him and working with a boy Capizzi, whose trousers I'm wearing now, and he's my favourite Italian designer. And he worked for Ferré for like 15 years before he died.
It rings a bell. Last summer I saw you in a place called Gallipoli in the southern part of Italy, and you were DJing at a festival, an event, and you were wearing very special shoes, meaning that they were twice bigger than your regular shoes. Is it your habit or was it just an exception?
Well, the pink ones.
I think they were actually white.
Pink. Yeah, I don't have any white shoes. Yeah, I love them. You know, high heels, as high as you can get them. They're fabulous. These are great because I can run around in these all day. They're quite comfortable. But those ones took me a long time to wear in.
Could you please tell, an average Italian girl who is not that tall, how can she get used to high heels? Because I can't figure that.
Well, you know, if the average Italian girl is not that tall, that's not a problem because the average Italian boy isn't that tall either. Exactly. So, you know, as long as you're not shorter than your man, you're okay.
But do you think it takes a little practice to be able to wear high heels, or is it just a question of, being keen on?
It's a very painful exercise. It takes a lot of practice over a large number of years.
So going straight to your music, we're gonna have a new Skunk Anansie album out, a greatest hits. We have a new single which is very good, and I really like it. I like the video, I like the sound, and there's a special question I want to do to you. Should you place Skunk Anansie in a time period? Would you place them in the 90s or in the 2000s as for style, for music, for fashion?
I would say you could place them in both periods, really, because I think that we're bridging that gap. We're in the process of bridging that gap. Definitely, we were most famous in the 90s, but we're back. And the new album and the new vibe and the new face of Skunk Anansie and the new artwork and all that kind of thing shows that we're very forward-thinking. You know, we're not being nostalgic about what we're doing now. We're being fresh and new and interesting about what we're doing now.
Would you agree with the statement that Skunk Anansie have been reborn from the ashes of Skunk Anansie? Because that's the thing I hear frequently, and I don't know if I agree with that.
Well, you mean Phoenix rising from the flames? I think that, you know, it didn't really die, but I do love that feeling. I do love that feeling of just completely burning everything down and starting everything fresh. And I think in some ways with as Smashes and Trashes doing a greatest hits does that, because it kind of like shows what we've done, and we're being very proud of that. But, you know, it is reborn, it is a brand new feeling, and, you know, we have kind of burnt up everything that we didn't like.
talking about X Factor, you were part of the jury for the Italian edition of X Factor. Did you enjoy that in the first place?
It was hilarious. It was hilarious. I was getting a translation in my ears when it was happening, and they were like going for each other, hilarious, and then winking at me behind the scenes. It was fun. Yeah, it was fun. I feel sorry for those kids up there, man. That's so scary. I'd never want to do that. But yeah, it was fun. It's great entertainment.
Is there any difference between the average UK X Factor contestant and the Italians, you reckon, or?
I think the Italians argue a lot more. You know, they're a lot more back chatty than the English ones. Are very meek and mild and go, oh, thank you very much. Thank you for telling me I'm an idiot. You know, well, the Italians are like, hey, you tell me I'm an idiot? What are you talking about? Your mother is an idiot. You know, and that to me is like the biggest difference. There's a lot of back chat in the. I was like, you're telling the judge that? In England, they would just kick you off the show, you know. It's like the English ones are so like, oh, I'm so happy to be here, and this is the best thing that's ever happened to me, and poor little old me, you play the victim, you know. Hi, this is Skin, and you are watching DonnaMadeira.com.